What's a brinifer?
Why am I dancing with that trans person?
Anyway, have you liked the stream? Make sure you like the stream. Make sure you check the links in my description. You can support the stream on Streamlabs. You can super chat using that. You can check out some music that I've made. You can check out my Discord. Anyway, we've got more ally content. I don't know if Sizzlack is in this one. I think it's just Willie. I think we're the ones that have been Sizzlacked, quite honestly. I think really we're the ones that have been Sizzlacked. Anti-trans ideology trans panel when? I don't know. I'm not like looking to put panels together or anything, but if someone's stupid enough to invite me onto one, then I'll fucking... Yeah. Oh, the line. Yeah, listen, I'm always gonna like dip in and out of the line. Like, they drive me insane, but like, at the same time, it's important because like this trans debate bro is just embarrassing, and I wanna make sure it's known. Anyway, we got Willie sans Leo. Leo is not here, hence the Sizzlacking. That's Willie official. I said what I said. They comment on their own fucking videos. They probably like them as well. Hopefully it doesn't turn down the fascism scapegoating route all the way, and trans peeps aren't ousted from society. Ale, you're in a cult. You're in a cult. And I knew you weren't here to listen.
You can't just not believe in a trans kid.
You can't just not believe in a trans kid. I mean, you can. You can say, that kid isn't trans, and that's you not believing in a trans kid.
Every single time Blair puts a child on the internet, she gets paid. So who's...
Every time she puts a video on the internet, she gets paid. Have you ever done videos about children? Then you've been paid for those videos. What does this take already? I'm gonna have to speed this up because we're never getting through it otherwise. Yeah, no problem. I need to just go over what you sent me quickly as well, but we'll be good. We'll be good. Around 5 o'clock, I think it'll work.
Is exploiting who? We're engaged. We are. What's up, rebels? My name's Willie. I am one half of Leo.
Rebels. This is very rebellious, shitting on Blair White. No one's ever shat on Blair White before. This is extremely rebellious. Well done. It's only the 100,000th video that I've seen on the internet shitting on Blair White. What does the they do? Absolutely nothing. It just signals to people that they're woke. That's all that the they does. That's why anyone who's not woke doesn't bother with this shit.
Leo and Willie, we're engaged. We are queer. And today I am here.
They're queer. Why are they so obsessed with Blair White? Because these people actually hate trans people who don't fall in line more than they hate like any cis people that say like wrong shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, to them, even though this person is not trans in any way, shape or form, despite having they in their name, in their pronouns, that's why these people spend all their time shitting on fucking trans. They love it. They love it. Look at all their most popular videos. It's just shitting on trans people. And then their fans love to come and shit on trans people that call out their bullshit. It is what it is. Y'all are dumb, so. Oh, hi, gay porn. I hope you're good.
One half of Leo and Willie. We're engaged. We are queer. And today I am here to react to the leader of the circus herself. We are going for the top.
The thing I don't understand about their channel is Willie is always the one talking about the trans topics. Yeah, I'm not sure either. Seeing as they're often like shitting on trans people, maybe they think it makes more sense for the cis person to do it. I'm not sure. That person is what? Willie? Willie is not non-binary. Willie is a cis person. They're not non-binary. And even if they were non-binary, non-binary means just calling yourself non-binary. This is a woman. So, I don't know.
Clown, Miss Blair White. Blair's gonna watch this and say, I'm just glad I got this big bitch moving. If you're new here, hello, thank you for joining the family. And if you don't know who Blair White is a right-wing leaning LGBTQ content creator. She's
not LGBTQ, she's trans. Blair hasn't been my recommendation list for years now. I still see her sometimes. I quite like Blair White. She's not my favorite creator, you know. Partly because like I'm not really a conservative, so There's always going to be some stuff that doesn't really hit for me, but I do like some of her content. Ring light reflecting glasses. I don't know, maybe I don't know. make it a podcast or something.
Is known for, I was going to say like doing content on trans kids, but I think when you put trans in front
known for doing content on trans, she talks about trans issues.
of it, it becomes political, right? Trans kids and trans people in general's life shouldn't be political, so let's not even afford her that labor. Let's just say Blair White is someone who produces a lot of content on kids. Speaking of
What the fuck was any of that?
predators, some people have a cult following with Blair because she has been known to speak out against predators. They blindly follow her allegiance, and it's interesting. I think on that, you know, it's always good when someone does work that stops children being in harm. That's always the goal. But
Oh, we're trying to pretend to be nuanced. Unless this is like major character development, which I'm always, yet listen, we're always optimistic. There's a tiny part of me that thinks that maybe this person can learn and understand that she's in a lesbian relationship and that there is no shame in that whatsoever. And that, I don't know, that's all there is to it. It's fine. The whole trans thing has given us lefties an existential crisis. True, because this whole binary politics that, especially in America, they insist on fucking pushing. It's actually like really not good for a lot of people. And I don't know, maybe eventually the whole two-party thing isn't going to be the be-all end-all anymore, but we'll have to see on that front, unfortunately.
I also think if you are someone who regularly refers to people as predators and pedophiles and you use that language just as much times as you say hello, yeah, at some point you're probably going to be right. So is she good at...
What, again? She talks about literal predators. So yeah, she probably uses those words quite a lot.
Goal. But I also think if you are someone who regularly refers to people as predators and...
A positive review. I do them sometimes. I end up talking to people because I watch their content just on a whim and it's like, hey, this is actually kind of cool. The problem is there's just so much like ideologized bullshit. And I see so many people like Jammy Dodger who I think are doing a lot of damage to people's brains, honestly. Yeah, exactly. Like this whole like binary politics thing where if you're a leftist, you have to think this, that, and the other. And if you're on the right, you have to think the inverse of that. That's starting to not work anymore because you've got gender criticals in general. They're not conservatives. They're liberals, you know, in the main, at least. You get conservative ones, of course.
Pedophiles and you use that language just as much times as you say hello, yeah, at some point you're probably going to be right. So is she good at calling them out or did she just get lucky? I don't know. Let's find out. So
did she just get lucky? Fuck me. I don't know. Something's wrong here, but hey.
Without further ado, let's get into it. Gay agenda. All right.
Gay agenda, but supposedly she's in a straight relationship with a trans man. You're a lesbian, aren't you?
Let's get into this. I'm actually really excited. So I'm moving around a lot because it's freaking uncomfortable. There's something underneath me. Oh, would you look at that? A cheeky plug. If you haven't already, check out our deep dives. We've got deep dives out on Ariel's class.
Yeah, so this is where they hate on mostly trans people. This is their bread and butter. This is what they're known for. Hating on trans people. Listen, if you can essentialize shit, so can I. But in truth, I haven't seen the Ariel one. I've seen a couple of them.
Stella, Blair White.
Yeah. What's more rebellious? What's more indicators of their followers being rebels than having the fucking progress flag everywhere?
Book Angel, Marcus.
Yeah, so the Marcus Dibb one, Buck Angel one, those are the ones I've seen.
Dibbs, aka the offensive platface. Calvin Garan, our next one's out.
She even fucking sticks it in there on him, like, fucking hell. Leave him alone. What's wrong with Marcus Dibb? He's great. Hi, Serena. I hope you're good. I never stopped being friends with someone because they voted for Donald Trump. Yeah, I'm the same. I just don't want to divide people that way. I don't want to have some kind of ultimatum where you have to think this and you have to think that, otherwise we're not going to associate, you know.
Out on RuPaul, so check that out and don't forget to hit the subscribe button. All right, let's actually get into it. Yeah.
She honestly believes she is in a heterosexual relationship with a black man. Yeah, whilst pushing all the gay shit and the gay agenda and we're queer. There's a lot of tacit admissions, isn't there? Let's be honest. There's a lot of tacit admissions. And you know what? Here's my fucking take. Being a lesbian is absolutely fine. Like, holy shit, I'm with a lesbian, you know what I mean? A bit complicated with the fact that I'm male, but my partner's like dating history and stuff. It is what it is, you know what I mean? And things function the way they do because of how we both physically are. So, hey, I don't know. I think we should get rid of the stigma of being gay, personally. Being gay isn't a bad thing. Just accept who you are.
Alright, let's actually do this.
My daughter Edie came out to me as trans 5 years ago. 2 years later, she socially transitioned to a girl.
My daughter. I know Edie. She's used quite a lot. I actually know Edie because of content creators like her, as opposed to... That's just interesting.
My own transition. Oh my god.
And to have a transgender child has made me so much more interesting.
Listen, I know that's a joke, but that is like saying the quiet part out loud. That is literally... It's like the designer kids stuff and that. Like, oh my god, it's just nasty. Do you know why it's so fucking nasty? Because you can never tell. You can never tell which ones of them got taught this shit at school and have internalized it when they probably shouldn't have. You can never tell which one of them's the parents are the ones that are like super invested in this shit. Jonathan Jolie. Have I heard of him? I don't know. Let me have a look. Let me have a quick look. Oh, he'll be a dad of a trans kid, won't he? How many trans kids has he got? Have a look. So my kids think I'm a cool dad. Listen, kids channels in general, like family channels in general, I feel uneasy around. Like, this probably isn't like Daddy of 5 or something fucked up like that, but I hate this. I hate these like family. It doesn't matter that one of them's trans or all of them are trans or whatever the fuck. I just, this kind of shit. You want to talk about Blair White is exploiting kids? She's using footage that already exists from people like this, who are the ones that made the money from that footage that they created that's out there in public now. That's what Blair White is using. You know what I mean? Like, how are you going to say she's exploiting kids? The exploitation is happening here, my friend. I'm sorry if you can't tell. I'm sorry if you don't understand this. I'm sorry if you haven't watched enough creepy as fuck family channels that you've lost your perspective or something, but that's how it is. Blair White isn't the one really... She's making money off this, but like very secondhand at best. And the people that are really doing any of this exploitation, apparently you're fine with. So why would you even complain about her doing any of that when the person who is doing it, you're fine with? That doesn't make sense.
The reaction when people hear that we have 2 trans kids is pretty...
2 trans kids, there we go. I mean, trans is meant to be very rare, right? It was at one point. And we're going to pretend that one of them goes trans, they get more attention for it and stuff like that. Another one wants that kind of attention. It's the same thing that can happen in school, but we desperately pretend that there's no possibility for social contagion, which is, it's just not true. Like, this is how people function. This is how children especially are. You gotta be on extreme copium to think otherwise, unfortunately. And it's weird. 2 trans kids. It's just bizarre. It's bizarre.
Shock and awe. The odds that you
Also recognize him. I think Marcus, the Platface, he did a video
Why does she keep saying that about him? Is she bitter that he didn't respond to any of her shit?
about that kid in his baptism
What's this tone, by the way? What's this like somber tone she's coming with? This is weird.
by proxy. Interesting. I've got a point to make, but you know what? Let me marinate this more and stop pausing.
the odds that you have 2 transgender children, 0.002%,
Yeah, you've been running around a fair bit. Make sure you marinate.
but the chances of you being a narcissistic pig, 100. Hey guys, welcome.
Listen, would I say something like that? I don't think so, but it's weird. Like these parents, like it's weird. Platforms seriously need to demonetize all content with kids, 100% separate from the trans issue. Hey, maybe.
Welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to my little winter wonderland in my house. Happy holidays, everybody. First of all, wait, Trump won. Merry Christmas. I am someone who has talked a lot about transgender children on this channel. It's probably the thing I'm the most hated and known for within the trans community.
Yeah, she's really trying not to like just shit on her like abjectly. This is interesting. I mean, hey, listen, you're trying to show some range. I cannot begrudge you for that. I was fucking streaking like a demon yesterday because I forgot my meds and I watched Matt Dillahunty. That turned out to be a poor combination unless you enjoyed whatever the fuck was going on yesterday, in which case...
My opposition to the entire concept, really. I mean, to me, put that on the list of other fictitious and mythological creatures because it's just not a thing. What is a thing, though, is parents, right, making decisions for children. And I'm not going to go over, you know, all the reasons why transitioning children is not only nonsensical, to say the least, but also demented.
Yeah, vegan cats. Next, they'll have like vegan guinea pigs or something crazy. I'll have a good one, Amy Scarl. Thanks for watching.
You know, all the reasons why transitioning children is not only nonsensical, to say the least, but also demented.
I guess I just don't understand the part of like the only thing that will validate a trans person is their 18th birthday. That makes no sense to me.
That's not what she's saying. Like, what you're trying to do is make it work from your framework when she does not think any of the same things as you.
But also demented.
I guess I just don't understand the part of like the only thing that will validate a trans person is their 18th birthday. That makes no sense to me. I think, of course, some kids know who they are, and that's not every single kid.
What does knowing yourself even mean? Knowing what you are? You think you're a straight woman dating a man. Is that really what's going on in reality? Is your boyfriend, your girlfriend a man? I can't say I've been seeing one when they've been on screen. And to me, I'm not sexist, so I don't mind that they're female, you know? Maybe you do, I'm not sure. But like, it's not got anything to do with, oh, you're not valid until you're an adult. It's about you're fucking up your development. It's about young people make rash decisions, even people above the age of 18. And, you know, the age of 18 is used because that's generally where our Western cultures have decided, you know what I mean? Like in the UK, in the US, other places, generally an adult is considered an 18-year-old. That's just like cultural. So I don't know. If you deconstruct it enough, yeah, it sounds ridiculous, but that's not what she's saying.
That's not to say some kids don't go back and forth like kids do. I do understand that. Kids do those things, but there's always going to be...
Yeah, which is a reason why we probably shouldn't be medicalizing them, because there's too much risk that they'll go back. And the thing is, if they're getting surgery, if they're getting like cross-sex hormones for like years or so before deciding that, then things have changed. There's things that they might not be able to do anymore. There's things that will be forever changed about them. They won't be happy about anymore.
Other kids who don't. Like, I think I've watched, God knows how many times No Offense has spoken about knowing who he was since he was a child, being...
What does that mean, to know who you were since you were a child? Do you know who else says that? All of these ancient, like, transsexual MTFs that insist that they knew what they were at the age of 6, which I don't know what the fuck that means. They probably had one thought, oh, I wish I was a girl when they were younger, and that's what they remember, and so they latch onto it. I think that's more likely myself. But it makes no sense. They've always been what they are, apparently. And then suddenly they're just not. And like suddenly they transition, but they've always felt that way. It doesn't make any sense. And when those stories start not making sense, you start thinking, well, some of these people that transitioned younger that are saying the same thing, is that really the case? You knew what you were? How can you, like, it doesn't make any sense at all. You already are what you are. If you think you're something else than what you are, then that's not knowing what you are. You might think you know what you are. People often don't know what they are. And that goes for myself as well.
A young child and just absolutely know it. To be fair, like Noah looked like a little boy growing up. He had the short hair. He knew who he was, and he's still who he is.
Yeah, he had the short hair. Short hair doesn't make you a man. Saying that you know you're a boy when you're a girl does not make you a boy, because that's not possible.
Tooth fairy, dickhead. You can't just not believe in a trans kid.
What I'm actually going to do...
Okay, she's been trying to be like good faith and stuff. And honestly, as much as she really hasn't said anything particularly insightful, honestly, it's a bit nice to hear someone at least trying, but the pretense is gone now. Here we go.
And he's still who he is. Tooth fairy, dickhead. You can't just not believe in a trans kid.
You can't just not believe in a trans kid. Well, you can, because the trans kid might be mistaken about their own identity, and teaching them about identities in the way we shouldn't be doing anyway, because there's really no evidence of this existing. It's just some shit we made up to make sense of something that there isn't any sense to make out of it, because most of it's just calling ourselves things. There is nothing deeper for most of it. You're just staring up your navel instead of doing something useful with your life. I'm sorry.
What I'm actually going to do today is focus on the parents.
This is Ari, Gwendolyn, and Brinnifer. They are in a polyamorous relationship.
We have a 2-year-old.
All right, so polyamorous relationship. Let me see them.
Parents.
This is Ari,
Okay, woman with short hair
Gwendolyn,
and 2 males in a polycule, and they have trans kids. Are we really going to pretend, and I don't know because I haven't seen this video, are we really going to pretend that this is like normal? That this is not an extreme sign that some of this shit is cultural and some of this is external? Stopping puberty increases the risk of not being able to get SRS later on at all. Therefore, using TRA's arguments can argue that blockers rob kids of choice for surgeries. It does rob their choice of surgeries. Yeah, true. But I mean, I don't know. There's usually like, yeah, well, you can just do this one or you can just do that one. And they mentioned sigmoid colon and you ask about Brianna Ivy and they don't know who Brianna Ivy is. So it's like, okay, brilliant. So yeah, listen, 2 males that think they're women, 1 woman with short hair. They've got trans kids. Are we really going to pretend there is nothing weird going on? That there is no social contagion? That there is no chance that this bizarre lifestyle is rubbed off on their kids in some way? That they might grow out of someday? Because we don't know. You can't identify like a genuinely dysphoric child. There isn't a way of doing it. So according to fucking Arden Hart on the line, there's a way of doing it. But she didn't like... Why don't I show the chat on the screen anymore? I do, it just hasn't been working. I'll see if I can fix it. It's supposed to be on there. Can I refresh? Yeah, it's just been fucking up. I don't know what's been going on. It said that I was disconnected and... Oh, here we go. Is that it? Have we got it? There we go. Sorry, Willie, your face is like covered.
and Brinnifer. They are in a polyamorous relationship.
We have a 2-year-old antigender baby and a 10-year-old who is non-binary.
They are in a polyamorous relationship.
We have a 2-year-old antigender baby.
What's that word? 2-year-old.
This is Ari, Gwendolyn, and Brinnifer.
Brinnifer?
Today is focused on the parents.
This is Ari, Gwendolyn, and Brinnifer.
Brinnifer? What's a Brinnifer? Anyway, sorry, I was listening for something else and that caught me. Brinnifer? Brinnifer? Can I change my name to Brinnifer? Oh, that was the pull-through one. Ah, right. I got you.
They are in a polyamorous relationship.
We have a 2-year-old antigender baby.
A 2-year-old... It sounds like anti-gender or something.
They are in a polyamorous relationship.
We have a 2-year-old antigender baby and...
No, I don't know what that means. I don't know what she's saying there.
A 10-year-old who is non-binary.
I think some...
They have a non-binary... This is what I mean. It's weird. It's weird. And it goes beyond just, well, you know, they're a weird family with weird, you know, whatever. Because this is going to affect their, like... This is going to affect their development. They're going to potentially have an extremely rude awakening one day. Why are people advocating for more people, including kids, to have an excruciating mental illness? I don't know. I've been asking that on Twitter, and apparently that makes me a terrible person. Endogen. I literally don't know. I don't know what they're saying. The kid has absolutely no concept of whatever the fuck they're saying, because why would they?
Sometimes we get caught up in focusing a bit much on the child and the spectacle of the transgender child, and
I've also watched that. Oh, there's a point. I promise you, I have a point when I'm saying these things. Just note that every single example so far that she has shown me, I've already seen.
That really says nothing. You're gonna have to give us something at some point, Willie.
This one, like this family dynamic that they have, I'm not going to place any judgment on it because I don't know these people.
No, you'll just place judgment on Blair White for having a problem with it, and for... You judge people on character only. You judge the people that you judge, you don't know. Have you ever spoken to Blair White? What do you know about her character? You know what things she says. And you know the fucking cultoid arguments against the things that she said. And that's about it.
I want
Kitchen poly families are not new concepts. Okay, sure, whatever. I don't even know what that fucking means.
thing I can be sure of that it isn't a social norm. I do know that it's very rare to see this family, and I don't.
It's just, she's very selective over what she'll judge to fuck and what she'll be like, well, I don't want to judge that. It's just so fickle. It's so arbitrary, except it's not, because I know what the cult mindset is and I know what the constellation of beliefs is. So I already know what she's gonna what she's gonna go for and what she's not gonna go for. I cannot keep fucking around with chat. I'm sorry. I need to talk to Amaya at some point. We're gonna run late as it is.
Understand, like, it feels like a really weird hill to die on. I just don't see it as a hill to die on, because let's just say you found it an issue, it would still be such a miniature issue, you know.
No, it's literally it's literally working. Am I judging TRA's character? Maybe.
The grand scheme of the fact that there are billions of people on this earth, and it's very rare you would come across a family like this, they are actually mostly amplified and introduced to people through your channel. Like, you are the reason we are.
Actually, no, I disagree with that. I'm not judging their character. I'm judging the things that they're saying and the things they're putting out into the world. I don't know this person. This person off the camera might be fucking lovely for all I know. So I don't know. You want to tell me I'm still judging people their character? Go ahead. I don't know.
Seeing them, you are the reason we are learning about them. It's channels like this, and so I just find it interesting. I don't know if you're doing what you think you're doing, but with having over 1 million subscribers, you aren't removing an issue by highlighting it.
Well, no, she's not removing an issue by highlighting it. She's highlighting it. She's just highlighting it and letting people think for themselves, which overwhelmingly people don't seem to really want this trans kids thing, and they don't want it being done to their kids. And parents are very protective over their kids, so it kind of makes sense.
All you're doing is, oh, there's more exposure there. Now everybody knows. Now maybe 1 million people know about this family that you seem to think isn't worth speaking about. It's just very counterintuitive.
No, she's drawing attention to an issue that she thinks is bad and allowing other people to think what they want about it. I mean, she's probably putting her opinions in there as well, for sure. But raising these people's profile doesn't mean that it's counterintuitive. Like, would you say Coney 2012, as much as it was a complete waste of time, was it counterintuitive to make Joseph Coney more famous? Potentially not. If more people know who he is, they might have a better chance of catching him. You know what I'm saying? You don't remove an issue by ignoring it either. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, what else do we do? Just pretend it's not happening? Because we do that about a lot of stuff, and all it does is make us look extremely dishonest. And people will just continue to have their own opinions that we might think is wrong, you know? I don't agree with this point. I don't think she's cooking on gas the way she thinks she is, you know?
But that all goes down to the fact that this isn't really a viewpoint, it's finances, isn't it? You know what I mean? Let's get there. Also, that all goes down to the fact that this isn't really a viewpoint, it's finances, isn't it? You know what I mean?
Her viewpoint is what financially motivated. So is yours, bro. Sorry to hear it. Like, do you get monetized? Do you get advertising on your shit? You shilled your stuff earlier. You obviously want people to watch it. I don't see how this isn't going to be just hypocritical.
Let's get there. Also, just to say, I apologise. I probably should look up whether it's Sweden or Norway, but I do know that there is schools where they use a third.
Okay, hang on. So apparently it's anti-gender, they were saying. Raise their kids as no gender. Wait, so is Brennifer one of the wives, or is Brennifer the child? I sort of assumed it was just something a trans person would call themselves, because Brennifer, you know, who calls their kid Brennifer, right, those kind of people, never mind.
Sweden or Norway, but I do know that there is schools where they use a third pronoun, and it's hen, girl, boy, or hen. These are children, and hen is just, I don't feel like I'm either, and they're very much based and pushing this idea of non-gender play. They're saying there are literal countries.
Non-gender play, meaning?
Who do this.
Oh, you're not going to say.
Who find no issues with this, who have this within their school systems, like, just very naturally, to see a child and be like,
sometimes I'm calling them evil or a bad person. Yeah, so if I watch someone like Jammy Dodger, who is clearly filling an awful lot of people's heads with complete bunk ideas that are not going to help them, that are screwing with their perception of the world, yeah, I think that's evil. What I would do is maybe consider the the times when I apply that kind of thing and whether there's a pattern, because there probably is, you know? Like, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. You might find a very tiny hypocrisy if you look hard enough, but then you've been looking extremely hard for that hypocrisy. So at what point are you not just mutifying your own point, if that's a word? In the UK, I think David Tennant's non-binary child has changed their mind. But Tennant's not saying gone very quiet. Yeah, of course, yeah. It does feel, some of these celebrities, it does feel like designer kids. And it's weird. It's weird.
This child's 10, cool, move on. So I just find it weird that like,
Yeah, that's a different culture to us as well. If we don't really do that in our culture, yeah, you can try and push it. Yeah, you can say, hey, let's call some people they, them. The thing is, it just hasn't really caught on very well. Like off of the internet, at least. That's just how it is, unfortunately. We're not in Sweden. We're in a different culture. It's the same as when people say the best way is just to be like the Scandinavians and everyone goes in the same bathrooms. That's all well and good, but we're not in those countries. And our culture might never be the same as those, you know? Yeah, I don't know. The thing is, like, it's one thing to make out that I just randomly shit on some people. I think what's more likely is that there's a reason why I would say something like that about a specific person. And I truly believe even people like these people are like filling people's heads with rubbish. And I don't think that's okay. I'm not okay with any of that. That's why, like, when they left a comment being like, oh yeah, we disagree with you and that's totally cool. To me, it's not totally cool. Because I think they're doing some quite wrong shit, quite honestly. But I'm talking about what they're doing, you know? I'm not talking about who they are when I don't actually know this person. Although I will say that, you know, encouraging their fans to come and hate on one of my videos is a little indicative of something not being quite kosher. But hey.
So it's just funny to me that you clearly don't have enough of the
Funny to me, okay.
worldview to understand that this isn't actually that original.
This is so condescending. This is so pretentious. Like, talk down to her a little more, why don't you? It's fucking weird. I'm sorry. It's weird.
Cultures, countries have been doing it for decades, but God agree.
Yes, but that might not work in ours. Then what?
Be up there.
Oh, no, that's the end of it. This is the thing. This is the other thing you have to understand about these kinds of people. Because they're sat there talking to themselves, they get to a certain point in the argument that they're having with themselves or with a video, and then they've just won. And that's it. When actually, often it just kind of begs more questions.
Parental by proxy. Now, this is a term you may have seen.
Society and culture are intertwined. Society determines social norms. Well, we all live in different cultures, you know. That's what I'm trying to say. What works in one culture might not work in another. And then what? Like, okay, we tried the they, them thing and it didn't work. Like, okay, great.
If you haven't already, please go check out my video about fake mental health. This is ridiculous. I'm gonna let her talk about it, but it's ridiculous. It's not a thing. It is an online sort of coin term, but it's dangerous again. Someone with such a huge platform putting this out. It's so dangerous. It's so dangerous.
Floating around social media.
Why is this dangerous? Sorry.
But God queen, be up there.
Parental.
It's just funny to me that you clearly don't have enough of the worldview to understand that this isn't actually that original. Cultures, countries have been doing it for decades, but God queen, be up there.
Parental by proxy. Now, this is a term you may have seen.
If you haven't already, please go check out my video about fake mental health. This is
Fake mental health.
ridiculous. I'm gonna let her talk about it, but it's ridiculous. It's not a thing. It is
Not a thing? How so?
an online sort of coin term, but
So there's no way that any parents could be deliberately transitioning their children. That's not a thing that ever happens. Can you prove that? Or is it likely that if there's some fucked up thing you can think of that someone might be doing, there's probably someone doing it? I mean, what is Rule 34? If it exists, there's porn of it somewhere on the internet. Like, people are crazy. I don't know how we constantly flip between having amazing faith in everyone and hating everyone just like clockwork. It's crazy to me.
it's dangerous again. Someone with such a huge platform putting this out. It's so dangerous. It's so dangerous.
Floating around social media. It's what people are using more and more to describe this.
I don't think Leo's on to you anymore.
phenomena of what seems to be the super demented offshoot of what we all know and recognize as Munchausen by proxy. Think of Gypsy Rose Blanchard. Think of, the children who unfortunately go through their mothers forcing illness upon them for their own.
Listen, what she's talking about is difficult to prove because no one's going to admit that they're like deliberately transing their kids because of some weird thing that's wrong with them. But you can't pretend that there's no likelihood that anyone's doing it. That's just unrealistic.
Well, because they're sick, right? Because the mothers themselves are sick. So think of this as that, but with a side of sex change.
He just now, a month ago.
What's this rocking? Is she okay? She seems quite offended, almost. Like watching Alec Gunter post-debate clarity. Anyway, I wonder if she knows Alec Gunter. Maybe they're friends.
Started hormone blockers. It's an implant. It is to prevent his puberty.
Is this like a self-soothing behavior? I hope she's... Listen, she's actually not okay right now. Like, oh my God.
Will prevent a menstruation cycle and breast development.
Do people ever wonder if you're too young to know?
Must be a coincidence. Celebrities having like 3 trans kids. High likelihood of winning the lottery. I agree. But these people like to pretend that social contagion is never a thing. In this case, in this very special case where conveniently almost everything we do around gender is completely different to anything else.
If you're trans?
Yeah, and like...
Yeah, I've seen this kid as well. It's so weird. It gives me the worst feeling. Because you never know. You don't know which of them are going to go on and actually be okay and be potentially happy, which good for them, honestly. I'm not saying no one should do it for that reason. I think no one should do it, but that's my own perspective. But when I watch these things, it's so difficult to tell. And because it's so difficult to tell, it makes me feel sick. Because this could be extremely wrong for this kid. Or they could be going through, even if they identify, they could be going through a treatment that might actually not be good for them at all for all kinds of potential unforeseen reasons. It's terrifying to me.
Are they too young to know that they're cis?
I mean, it's demented. Focusing on the trans kids.
I feel like the kid served. I hope the commentary on that wasn't just it's demented.
No, the kid didn't serve. Cis is the default. That's what everyone is. If you decide you're something else, you've decided you're something else. But that's the default. You just are male or female. I'm sorry about it.
Because there was a clear example of a kid actually serving back of, we know we're cis, right?
Yeah, serving back with the fucking cult ideology. The cult shit that they've been taught.
Like, I am around my trans partner and I am so cis. There's nothing he can do that would rub off on me and suddenly make me think I'm...
Who said that this person was non-binary, Elliot? You are wrong. This person is cis. They just use they, them in their pronouns because it's trendy.
I do, because I know I'm not. I don't really believe in the construct of gender because it is societal based.
It's derived from sex. Yes, it's socially constructed. Gender is derived from sex.
And I find it really weird when people try to pretend it isn't. Like, no, you wasn't brought out of the womb thinking this was blue and this was pink. Like, we have completely been conditioned that way. So for someone to just say, I don't subscribe...
Have we? How so? This is just like soy fucking feminist shit. This is just... You just say this shit because you didn't think of anything else. You need some boilerplate fucking response to something pretty obvious.
To a societal thing, I think that's okay. You know what I mean? Like, it's man-made. I don't F with that. I have my own ideals. I have my own ideology. I have my own viewpoint. That's okay. I think it's...
Oh, she's trying not to swear. This person 100% is like trying to get monetized. So all that shit she was saying about Blair White, like her monetary motive, it's projection. This person wants to make money. They'll literally like GoFundMe their fucking fans despite having 13.4k subscribers. Getting okay viewership, I guess. I mean, oh my God.
Really strange that her only feedback to this little kid, who, by the way, I've seen used in so many of these people's videos, is it's demented. But it's not demented.
What, a child thinking it's the opposite sex isn't demented? I'm sorry, like, Jesus Christ, where are you? I don't even know what to say to that. Obviously, something's gone wrong on some fucking level.
I think putting this information up in this video of this kid who's having a hormone blocker and then failing to mention that this hormone blocker is a temporary thing. It's not permanent and it's completely reversible. Things that...
Completely reversible? What, the puberty blocker? You can't say that. That's not true. They are not fully reversible. Completely reversible. Doesn't matter. You can't say that. It's not true. Doesn't matter if it's temporary. Especially when overwhelmingly, these kids will go on to cross-sex hormones, which are not reversible. Maybe if you take very little for like a week or some shit, I don't know, but this is just bunk. You're just lying at this point. This is lying. Wait, did you want to talk to me now or can I finish this first? I don't mind. I don't mind. If you want to talk to me now, I can finish this after. But I don't know, let me know.
That happen on it can be reversible. I think that's dangerous. You are cutting, it's not permanent, and it's completely reversible. Things that happen on it can be reversible. I think that's dangerous. You are cutting and pasting and choosing what parts of the story to tell, but
I'm pretty sure Blair White wasn't trying to make out that this kid's on puberty blockers for the rest of their life. No one thinks that. Like, where did you get this from? Why not take the words that she actually said and deal with those? Why extrapolate to that extent? Like, is that how, oh, thank you so much, Amaya. Is that how we do things? We just make up people's positions for them and then take down those positions? Willie looks sad. Does she know that the very fact she's dating a trans person means that she is a very queer, well, they call themselves queer, but queer is utterly meaningless. It's just something you call yourselves. Like, I've asked many people what this fucking word means. It means nothing. You just call yourself a thing.
we know you're not stupid. Like, I have never once watched Blair and thought, this girl is stupid. And so I know it's calculated choices that you are making to prevent people from learning more, which is so weird because it's like...
Nah, that's bullshit. That's bullshit. Anyone, by the way, can just fucking find the video that Blair reacted to. She's not trying to make it a secret. She's not trying to cut things out because you can just go find it anyway. And I don't think she's trying to hide what these videos are. So this is just empty cynicism. It's just, well, I don't like you, so here's what I think I think you're doing the opposite of what you're saying.
Like, why? Why? I mean...
I know a trans kid who was on blockers between 11 and 19. What the fuck? Aren't you meant to be on them for no more than about 2 years or something? Scoliosis and osteoporosis. I'm not even shocked.
Money. It's all about the money because it's... And so I know it's calculated choices that you are making to prevent people from learning more, which is so weird because it's like...
You don't know that. You're just lying about someone now. You're just lying about someone. And it's easy to do it when it's someone like Blair White because all of these people will congratulate you to the end of the earth for doing so because these people utterly despise Blair White. A bunch of them probably don't even know why they hate Blair White. They've just been conditioned that way because of older trans people who also hate Blair White and used to be the ones shitting on her. And now the baton just gets passed down. Why not find a new target? Why not? I don't know. Just why does the world need more of this? You know what I mean?
Why? Why? I mean, money. It's all about...
This person who has been chilling their own content, who asked for, was it £3,000 of their fans' money? You want to talk about someone else being all about the money? Really? Really? You're putting this shit on YouTube as well. So how are you not also profiting from kids by having them showing down here the whole time while you're sat there? By your logic. Because she's already reacting to secondhand things. Like these channels, look at this. This is where that criticism should be aimed. Making money off kids, you know?
So we're looking to hire someone.
Okay, please be quiet. I just want to find it. Oh, an LGBTQ advice hotline. Gary, do not trust these people. Please, I beg you. Not just these people. Any of them that put this kind of thing out. This kind of toxic, positive kind of shit. Supposedly they work 2 jobs. Is that true? Listen, GoFundMe. Here we go. But you want to talk about other people? Financial hurdle. Why not do more streams? Why not? You know what I mean? Like 5K, £5,000. I have not been in a good financial situation, albeit not the worst in the world either. Since I started this channel, I would not dream of opening a GoFundMe to take $5,000 out of other people's money because I amassed debt amassed during abuse. Like what? No explanation whatsoever. It's bizarre. And you want to talk about other people money grubbing. I'm sorry. You're hypocrites. You're utter hypocrites. And you're doing the same thing Blair is doing. And the same thing I'm doing. That's why I try not to shit on people for wanting some money from ad revenue. I'd like that as well. The difference is, these people that seem to get it, they're lying to you. I'm not lying to anyone, and yet I'm the one that can't get monetized. Isn't that interesting? Isn't that interesting? Anyway.
About the money.
Yep, she is self-reporting. Believe her when she says, believe these people when they speak. Believe them when they say these things, because it's true. This is literally what she's doing.
We don't need the money.
Also, Jessie J sucks, no offense.
We just want to make the world dance. Forget about the price tag. Not about the cha-ching.
Oh my God.
Cha-ching.
People aren't
Shut up. Oh, finally, Jesus.
ready for this truth a lot of the times, but I say it anyways. It's also a white thing.
This is true. Oh my, you seriously? The one time someone you don't like shits on and a group of people you don't like? Yeah, I'm saying it. Leo called me racist. I think you're racist. I'll say that. I don't give a fuck. Don't call me racist if you don't want to be called racist yourself. The one time someone like confirms your like racism, now you've got a problem with it?
A middle to upper class white thing. We don't talk about race a ton on this channel. Perhaps we should, but for
how often do you hear, like, you watch these videos about people that talk about how they were like fast-tracked through these like teenage girls, you know, fast-tracked through these transitions, and then you'll get ones that regret it later on and say, you know, it seems bizarre that people are waiting so long, yet I got fast-tracked. It's because I've got rich parents. Like, this happens. How many more fucking videos need to come out from teenage girls who had their tits cut off and then regretted it 3 years later? You know what I mean? Randomly saying like that. Yeah, it's very quirk chungus. It's very, you know. Oh, I can't remember. They did a bunch of, so they left a load of comments on my video, my first video about them. And then they posted some community posts, one of which is missing now. And one of them definitely insinuated that I was racist. And I think this person is racist. I don't know about Leo, but maybe he is because he called me racist. And that's, you know, that's my prerogative.
Perhaps you should, Blair. And when you do, I'll be there, reacting.
For me, a lot of thing. It's a middle to upper class white thing. We don't talk about race a ton on this channel. Perhaps we should, but
perhaps you should, Blair. And when you do, I'll be there, reacting.
For me.
What, so that she talks about white people and you can confirm that you're racist against white people? I don't know. Sure.
A lot of this trans child phenomenon, the non-binary phenomenon, the everlasting, you know, never-ending rainbow acronym, right, is in large part because white people have been so neutered spiritually by the media. You know, they're not allowed to have an identity that is based around their race, like every other race, right? So they're looking for other things. They're looking to be, you know, not the oppressive white woman that the media and
this is kind of true.
That their politicians tell them they are. They're looking for an out. They're looking for a scapegoat. They're looking to say, no, I'm not actually a Karen. I'm not actually the racist white woman that the media says I am. I have a transgender child.
I find this so interesting because it's something that I have heard echoed in quite a few right-wing content creators that look like Blair. And by that, I mean white.
That look like Blair. Oh, wait, no. See, I don't miss. This person is racist.
I have heard echoed in quite a few right-wing content creators that look like Blair. And by that, I mean white women.
Blair White is like half Hispanic or something. Isn't she part Asian? Blair White isn't even white. I'm white.
And, you know, white passing people in general.
White passing, disgusting concept. White passing. Why do we need a term like white passing?
I hear this a lot from people like Dark Ariel Blair, and essentially what they're saying is white people.
Are any of those, like half of them, maybe they are right wing, I'm not sure, but like, interesting you go for those kind of people.
People don't feel like they can have a personality because being proud of the white race is deemed as so negative. And so in an act of boredom and desperation and longing to fit in and be interesting, they are pushing LGBTQ ideologies onto children. They are...
Well, it's not about it being pushed onto them. It's more kind of like J.K. Rowling is a Nazi. That is not true. Okay, stop distracting me.
Interesting. They are pushing LGBT...
It's not that they're pushing it. It's just that people end up in these like bizarro communities because they don't know what the fuck they want to do. This woman is still mentally 27 Tumblr. Okay, that I agree with.
LGBTQ ideologies onto children, they are being over-accepting, or maybe they're coming out as queer things. Some people say, well, being non-binary just to be in.
Well, people take on these labels because they want community sometimes. Are you going to say that's not the case? Based on what? Do you understand anything about conformity, about psychology?
Interesting, which is wild. It's such a wild concept. Out as queer things, some people say, well, being non-binary just to be interesting, which is wild.
Well, they don't think that that's why they're doing it. And it's a very oversimplified way of saying it. Like, people latch onto these things because they don't have any real sense of identity and potentially think that that's giving them some kind of sense of identity when actually they're just really kind of taking on some kind of fashion thing. You know, it's like someone who literally had nothing about them suddenly becoming like a massive goth or something. And there's really no difference, honestly, because non-binary is just a thing you call yourself.
It's such a wild concept. And I find it so interesting because the only people who say things like that look like her. Do you
What even is this point? Only people that say things like that look like her. Like what? Well, yeah, I'd imagine white people probably talk more about like white people shit than black people, because black people have experiences more in common with, I don't know, black people. So they probably talk more about that. I don't know. Like, what? White people are talking about their own issues? Wow, amazing. Can't be having that now, can we?
You know what I mean? It's like, are you telling on yourself? Are you
Yes, I know what you mean. You're a bit racist.
letting us know that your whole identity, your whole personality is just there to
Yeah. Please explain Blair's identity and personality, person who has never met her. Go ahead.
make yourself appear interesting? Because Blair White, what are you if you aren't talking about children on the internet?
Well, I would like to imagine Blair White has probably quite a decent life outside of, like, YouTube. Like, I don't know. I don't go on and on about this shit ad nauseum off of the internet. I stop my stream and I do something else. And I get on with my life. I'd be willing to bet Blair White probably does the same. I think she has, like, people around her that love her. Things around her, she's got a lot of money, probably a lot of options in terms of things to do because she can go do anything and be able to afford it. Blair's white, you're very unlikely to find a trans house and parents who aren't white. Yeah, I agree. It's more of a white thing for sure. Like, overwhelmingly, it's like a Western thing. Well, at least our version of trans and like the trans kids and stuff like that. Like, black and brown and so on people that become trans, they very often, what's the word? They're often like gay. With white people, they're much less likely to be gay if they're trans.
Speaking of predators, me and Leo are thinking about potentially doing like some true crime stuff on another channel. So please do let us know if that might be interesting. I'd really want to do
She's advertising more stuff, but go on about how Blair White is just in it for the money. Sure, bro. You're like the mirror image at this point.
true crime. I've always wanted to do true crime and something I might do. So yeah, just let me know. But yeah, she's chatting absolutely shy. Like, I think that's actually so savage as well to think that.
She's not tracking shy. You just don't like it because it's her that said it. Listen, I'm a white person. Us white people, our shit around like the trans stuff is fucking weird. It's weird. I wouldn't even think you're racist if you kind of alluded to that as well, because it's weird. Like, I'm sorry, what do you want me to say? It's happening. How many white people need to tell you that white people are a bit weird when it comes to fucking trans shit? Like, I don't know. You'd think that she would like hit this out of the park because it's the kind of like anti-white thing she could get down with because it's kind of true in a way. But no, you have to hate on it because it's Blair White saying it. And then call her white even though she's not fucking white.
That like, it's just a way to erase the fact that some people are who they say they are. It's like,
no, this is just more empty cynicism. Are who they say they are. You're just immediately assuming that someone who says they're trans must be trans. And anyone that disagree, you just immediately cynical. Why is it that you immediately believe some people and are immediately cynical of others? Does that not suggest to you that there's an ideology at work here? Does that not suggest that your program is kind of showing a bit? Because it is. This probably isn't even your fault. You probably got this from someone, whether it was Leo or someone fucking else. And I'm sorry that you got dragged into this shit.
no, you're not who you say you are. You're actually just white and boring.
And there we go with the essentialism. No one said that. No one said that at all.
I'm taking away all this poetical language and just saying what she's saying, and it
No, you're not. You're rephrasing it and changing the whole meaning in the process. You're lying to people.
sounds shocking coming from my black face, right? But that's what she is also saying. You need to listen to the words, because it will be disguised as protecting the children, and you'll be driven by that, because who doesn't...
Disguised, yeah? Is it protecting children that you want children to get puberty blockers and shit like that? Why do you want children to do that? Why is it that there are a lot of risks associated, especially with regretting, because you've got the rest of your life to do that and to understand yourself better and to change your mind about things? Why is it that none of that is worth considering?
I want to protect children. This message that save the trans kids or save kids is a facade. It's there to encompass and pretty up the disgusting...
Empty cynicism. Once again, you can hear her stuttering as she tries to formulate a way of making up Blair's argument to make it sound evil and not actually what she said.
Words that she's actually saying, which is, some people are like this because they're white and boring, which is wild.
Wasn't really what she said. They're white people that, I mean, listen, maybe she said boring. What they're trying to say there, and like, that's not a very good phrase if that's what she did say. But like, what they're trying to say is that people like lack a sense of identity. And then they end up getting dragged into these kind of things. Like, kids go through school not really latching on with anything of anything. They don't know what they want to do with their life. They don't really know who they are. This kind of shit becomes quite attractive. All the bright colors, all the, well, you'll have your identity mapped out for you. Just here's the options. You know what I mean? Like, we're so busy ranting about the language and trying to pass what she seems to think that Blair's motivations are, when you're not going to know. Maybe talk to her, you'd understand better then. Like, you're not understanding what the actual issue is at the center of this. And so you're not understanding her video whatsoever. And you're just nitpicking side little things, little tangents. This is worthless. This is not analysis. I'm sorry.
That is wild. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying I don't believe people.
Yeah, how many times she'll make something up and then say, that is wild. Yeah, it is wild. It was you that made it up, though.
Don't modify their personalities to appear more interesting, like every human in life, I imagine. You know, we develop, we change, we go through all these versions of ourselves.
Yeah, so why pin a child down into one, like, gender when they're going to change a bunch? And why enable that with parents that might have ulterior motives, or even might just think that their difficult autistic child might be happier as a girl and it might fix their problems? It might even be coming out of a good place, even if it's not a good thing. You know what I mean? Leveraging white people struggling with identity as being vanilla and boring comes off a bit racist. Yeah, it does. And maybe Blair was, I can't remember what word she used. Some people do say that kind of thing. But I mean, really, you know, there is really a point in there if someone's like intellectually honest and wants to actually talk about these issues. This person, I don't know. It's difficult to understand whether this person is intelligent enough to know what's going on here, quite frankly. Hi, Cassie. I hope you're good. White, black, and awkward. Are you cultural appropriating? Oh no, trust me. It's not appropriation. Don't worry about that.
I just think it's such a shame that when it comes to identity, it's because someone's born and white. It can't just be because someone is...
Yeah, that's one thing, bro. And like these identity crises where people don't understand who they are. They didn't go through school and make friends and latch onto anything. And now they don't know what the fuck they are or what the fuck they want to do. Like, it's not the nicest way of putting it, but I don't know. There's an actual issue at the center of this, with this person either has an interest in not touching on because it's not favorable towards trans kids, or they just plain don't understand what's going on. I'm not sure. One or the other.
Searching, or it can't just be that this lady who has absolutely said it's made me more interesting, which is freaking hilarious, right? It's clearly comical.
Yeah, comical. Yeah, that's why you're laughing so much.
I don't think this is like...
She didn't laugh. She didn't smile. Like, do you know what comical means, bro?
This huge belief system that she's willing to die on. I think she's making a joke. Ha ha, he. you know, to lighten up the crowd, and she did a great job. And probably having a trans kid, maybe it did make her more interesting. Maybe it meant that she went to go read more books, see more people, open her worldview point. She ain't lying.
Yeah, maybe it was just like all good things and no bad things. Amazing insight, Leo, Willie, whichever one I don't care anymore. Whichever, I don't know. Where is it again? There we go. I've been sizzlacked, ladies and gentlemen.
Narcissism. It's written all over her. This is about her. Where even is the child? And think about even further than just like...
That is a bit weird though. Like, you go up to talk about how you have trans kids. Like, I don't know, bro.
On a personal level, I'm sure she's so much more interesting to all her, you know, affluent white liberal friends, right? She also gets to be on... She's so much more interesting to all her, you know, affluent white liberal friends, right? She also gets to be on a podium and gets to be this celebrated political activist.
I could be wrong, but she seems like she's actually getting quite mad at this. Like, oh my God.
And gets to go and speak to crowds who are, you know, laughing about her saying it makes her interesting. This ain't about you, Deborah. And the reason we're reacting to these parents is because...
Yeah, like sometimes the kid really takes the back seat, don't they? Especially when it's a celebrity. Isn't that weird? You're never going to hear her like talk about that though. Because she can't criticize any aspect of this, you see.
Because this...
Why shouldn't she be up on a podium? I imagine there are a lot of people out there who wish this was their parent. Like, oh my God, I would love to have someone.
Well, what achievement is it having a child that's trans? What achievement is that? Why does the world need to know about it? Why does there need to be a TED talk for every single fucking tiny thing you can fathom in your brain? Why does everyone need their 15 minutes? You know what I mean?
So supportive that they're willing to go out there, speak on a podium. If this...
Again, listen, this is just taking the most charitable version of it and saying, well, maybe it's this. Well, yeah, but it probably isn't that because that's unrealistic. Like, people aren't angels in the main. I'm sorry to break it to you. Like, it's just weak. Like, all you're doing is saying, well, there's another perspective. Well, yeah, obviously, but you're not showing anything. You're not doing anything to suggest that yours is the right one. You just don't like Blair White, and you want money, so you're making a video. Listen, you project so much. It's just, you're just making it too easy for me. I'm sorry. I'm going to keep doing it. This is all about the money for you. Hope you enjoy the GoFundMe money as well. Jesus Christ.
Means that by proxy you become this activist and you become this beacon, and you're also... This flyer's a paid actor. If it means that through the acceptance of your kid, you go on to speak on podiums, you go on to elevate the voice, and that's great.
Necessarily, that's great. Do you know any of these people? Like, why is that good? Like, by default, I don't think it is.
It means that her work hasn't stopped inside her house. She's like, yeah, this is my kid. I love the mic.
Do you see what I mean? Listen, do you see what I mean? I mentioned earlier about how it's like the good faith, bad faith thing. It's like a fucking... It's like putting a magnet to a compass and it's just all over the place. You don't like this person, so everything they say is bad. You like this person, even though you don't know anything about them. They just have a trans kid. So you have to take everything with the utmost charity. Oh, they must be amazing people. Like, how do you know? How do you know? Do you know this person?
Accept them, and as well as this, I'm now going to move forward and continue to spread this message so other people have this acceptance. Every child deserves a parent.
Yeah, but that might not be happening at all. So what is the point in that analysis?
/ guardian who is willing to stand on a podium for them and go to bat for them and let the world know that they exist and they're proud of that existence. Like,
yeah, this is just what you wish people would do. This is just your wish list. Who's actually doing this? And where's this magical family where the trans kids are all extremely happy, like they just pump their own fucking hormones, and the mum's just like touring the world, like, yeah, we've got trans kids and they're happy, it's like amazing, and we're activists now and stuff. Like, who are you talking about? Like, because you don't know any of these people. Like, I'm sorry. You've probably seen some of these things before, but from what it seems like, you choose which ones to apply charitability and which ones to apply cynicism to. So what's the difference? Like, that woman on stage, I don't know, maybe she's an amazing parent. Maybe her kid genuinely is trans. I don't know. That's why I'm not saying, yeah, well, maybe it's good actually, because that's dumb and that doesn't tell us anything. You're just giving another version of events that could have happened, but probably didn't. So yeah, amazing. I'm so glad. I'm so glad that you're using this platform to make money. I'm so glad you're telling people what to think and running a call-in service or something. Like, whilst also wanting to do true crime, whilst also plugging deep dives on overwhelmingly trans people for some reason. You're not even trans. Like, it's a bit ghoulish in a way, but sure, let's keep going.
You're trying to make this like it's just a really sad, depressive lens to look through life in, I think, when you are actively looking for reasons to, I don't know, just like ick people.
Is that what she's doing? How so?
Like,
well, no, she sees a genuine problem with this because these kids can have health issues from the stuff that's going to be put into their bodies. They might regret it later in time. She's seeing potential issues with it. And yeah, she's fallen on one side of the fence. She's chosen a position. You might choose the other position. But making cynical reads about the person's motives, it's a waste of time because you don't know that person. So why not actually give reasons why you think the opposite other than, well, it could be this instead? Because this is weak. It's not good enough.
Gal, go brunch. Go live your life.
He's excited to be here.
Patronizing, unearned smugness, amazing.
Marshall, do you want to do a week 4 on testosterone? Boys?
Week 4.
He's so embarrassed. Oh my God. This could be like Remember Mary back forever ago. When I was a teen, there were 2 gay activists that adopted kids and were called Crusaders, and it turned out they ran a Savile-style ring. I don't remember that, but like stuff like that, you'll always get people like this who will insist that because it's gay people or because it's trans people or whatever, that it must be good and it must be holy, it must be all fine, you know?
Insane. How are you feeling?
Like, all they're doing is assuming things. They don't know. They're assuming her motives. They're assuming these people's motives. Yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe all of these people are complete fucking angels. It's just unlikely. And you haven't got anything to actually back it up. You're just offering an alternative hypothesis.
Insane. Any effects? Anything changing?
Yeah, does this not feel a bit parent-led? I'm sorry.
Not really. Yeah. Any high points? Any good things?
Not really.
Okay. A few things stood out to me. As you can see, this is on the account called Sarah, which I'm assuming is not the young female trying to be a male here. So this is the mom's TikTok account. So getting clouts and click off, you're clearly, you know, I say this with love, obviously this is a baby. It's narcissism. That's a keyword you have to understand when you're looking at these mothers. It is always, maybe not say always.
Yeah, bear in mind, calling the mother a narcissist, not the trans child a narcissist.
It is so often.
And it does feel a bit narcissistic, filming yourself, trying to get your kid to make a thing for you about their thing, which oddly you're sat in front of them. It feels like it's all about you. Yeah, I see what Blair's seeing here. I don't know how she's gonna... She'll find a way, I'm sure, by being like, yeah, well, maybe actually, it was just this, which is not, you know, yeah, okay, you've both given opposite potential fucking things that are going on. Amazing.
About them.
This is an interesting one. I feel like Blair's conflating 2 issues here.
The Hart family murders. I vaguely remember that, yeah.
So one is the issue she's trying to push, which is the parents supporting their kids transitioning. And I think the
parents supporting their kids I guess that's one way of putting it.
other one is just a general issue with family channels, family vlogging, participation of children in those videos in general, which isn't a trans problem. Do you know?
Isn't a trans problem. They're using trans in order to do that, though. So it kind of becomes it, right? Like, oh, gee, this person is so clueless, man. Like, how do you hear yourself say these things and then edit into a video and be like, yeah, that was a good take. Yeah, I really fucking ate there. Like, no. What are you talking about?
You know what I mean? Like, I feel like there are 2 things being conflated here, and I feel like when you are...
Nothing's being conflated. There's 2 things being conflated because it's a mother and kid doing TikToks, and one of them's trans. So the conflation is literally there. It's baked in. And you have to kind of deal with it as one of those cases instead of, well, it's not because he's trans, so who cares? Like, you really don't think that parents aren't necessarily going to use this kind of like, what are you on?
Trying to make a point, which is about trans parents pushing these things on trans kids. I do understand that using media examples is a great example of that. It's like they're trying to use them for clout. There are so many family channels out there, right? Like this.
Yeah, you're just avoiding the issue by being, well, other people do it and it's not trans. Okay, well, people are using trans to do it too. I think there's a problem with that. I am trans, you're not. So, hey, I don't know.
has been a thing since forever, and I'm not saying this to validate them or to say I think they're great or bad. Actually, I'm not making a point about family channels in general.
No, you're just pussying out of saying what you really think about family channels, because you know it's gross on a surface level, on a deeper than surface level. But Blair White is complaining about it, and you're more interested in disagreeing with Blair White than actually using your brain. So hey.
I'm just trying to state that they exist and they always have. And the issues with family channels and family vlogging and all those things have always existed. And that's a separate issue to gender exploration.
This is stupidity. You're just obfuscating. You're just avoiding talking about the issue that Blair White is talking about. So great. Basically, she's told us what she thinks about this issue and you have refused to. So what, her point stands, I guess? But yeah, like, it's a parent doing this weird shit with a trans kid. So yeah, in this case, the trans shit is kind of relevant because it's being used a certain way potentially that might be a bit dodgy, but you don't care. You don't care about safeguarding, apparently. I don't know. I don't know that for sure. I don't know you, like I keep saying, but that's what it comes across like, because you're just like, who cares? Just let them do what they want. AKA, when it turns out to be a horrific mistake for some of these kids, who cares? I know what your view is going to be about like detransitioning and stuff. I've seen too many of these channels. I fucking hell. This is just a micro warmed up fucking leftovers version of any number of these toxic ass channels that have been around for years, saying the same shit, just finding any way of obfuscating. I might as well be listening to Peter Tatchell of all people, because that's all he does.
They're not the same thing. I don't understand why they're getting conflated here. Yes, this is a very, very...
Because it's... Oh my God. Because you literally see the conflation in front of you. You see it. Do you see this? Do you see this? Oh my God. Oh my God. How are you not understanding it? It's right in front of you. That's the conflation. The fact that it is a parent with a kid. There's no point. There's no point. This person is beyond help. And being beyond help got them 13.4k subscribers. So well done. Well done on all these utter morons fucking lighting your shit up for you. I would be embarrassed if my audience was anything like this, frankly. And I would be embarrassed if I made a video like this.
Very awkward video. One that personally I don't think should have ever gone on the internet because he doesn't seem comfortable. He seems like this isn't a vibe for him. But I could also find 1,000 other examples on family channels that are still up that I'm breaking in.
Yes, but Blair's trans and she cares about trans issues. So when trans is being used by a potentially narcissistic parent to like push her kid into doing stuff that he doesn't want to do, and if he doesn't want to do these vlogs, what else does he want to do? Who knows? Because none of us know these people. I like fucking hell. Sorry, I'll be done shortly. I need to speed through this. It beggars belief. She's not even trying. She's not even trying to acknowledge or to understand Blair's point.
Millions that are similar to this, just private moments that kids don't want shared, and that's a separate...
None of that matters.
Issue in itself is what I'm saying. I just don't think it's about his transition and how he views that versus him just...
Wait, if they're in the UK, why have they got aircon? Just saying.
Having general discomfort of being filmed in his private moments. So don't conflate them too, because then...
No, it's already conflated. They're talking about trans and he's uncomfortable. It's already conflated.
Not the same thing, and they both raise separate issues, and of course...
I love it. I love it. They make these bunk points that are obviously bullshit. And then it's like, this is bullshit. When am I going to post my own content? I don't know what you're talking about. Like, they know it's bullshit. Well, whether they know it's bullshit. They say, I know it's bullshit straight away, and I have to listen to them go on and on at this point, where they're just avoiding the issue. No, you just won't engage with this specific issue because maybe it makes you uncomfortable. Because maybe some of these kids are being pushed into something they don't want to do. And it's maybe starting to get a bit weird for them. There is, like... That is the conflation, is the fact that that's what these people are. And you have to deal with cases individually at a certain point. Otherwise, you're useless.
You're always going to find intersectionality, and they're going to be things that, are in the middle of that Venn diagram, but ultimately they're separate.
That's the worst thing. This fucking retard should know, because they're an intersectionality fucking person. But actually, that usually just means that your brain is shit. Sorry, that's how it is. Every intersectional I meet, it seems like their intersectionality is what they use in place of their empathy so that they can pick and choose which ones they should empathize with. And it's okay to just shit all over people that are privileged. That's what it comes across to me. I think it's, at its worst, what's it called? Fucking intersectionality at its worst is fucking psychopathy, frankly. I mean, you make a video, outline your positions in full, and let other people do let other people do lives. Other people doing lives is not for me to let them do or not do. I want to make a video talking about my positions and how I got here at some point, but I don't know when I'm going to do that because like the kind of scripted stuff isn't my forte. I do want to do it eventually, but I don't know. You're just going to have to be patient, I would say, in that respect. But people can like let other people do live. Anyone can do lives. Someone wants to react to me, they can react to me. Fucking Chud Logic did so. I've done like conversations. I've had like so-called debates. I've made content. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm sorry.
Issues. They're like trying to shoehorn all these massive issues that surround family channels.
Shoehorn? How are they shoehorning anything in when it's literally there? When literally that's what's going on? Oh my god!
Into this moment where, which has probably existed longer than this kid's been alive, is ridiculous. It's a reach and it's a dangerous way of doing commentary because only ignorant minds will absorb it and not dissect it and go,
that's stupid. It's not dangerous. What are you talking about?
oh, wait, I get this problem, but this is also a separate issue and they're not the same thing. What you doing?
It's not a separate issue. Like, fuck me. And then you have to do all the fucking, like, she thinks she has a point, so she goes on for 5 minutes and then starts doing all this shit, and it's like, you're just making it worse. I'm just waiting for you to come back and accept that what we're looking at is potentially someone misusing trans on someone else. That's fucked. No one should do that. Any more than they should be pretending their child has, like, whatever the fuck that Dee Blanchard was pretending her kid had and then got murdered over.
In here. Yeah. Okay, y'all, so I have watched the rest of the video, truly, and it's basically the first half copied and pasted into the second half, and I imagine it's for the retention rate to get people watching more, you get more money, but I'm not going to do you guys like that because it's just not interesting.
Cynicism.
I'm going to give you my final thoughts, especially adhering to me saying, I've seen these kids before and I've got a point, I've seen these kids before. I'll tell you my point. If this is such an epidemic, these parents transing their children, why do y'all keep recycling the same 5 kids?
Has anyone mentioned epidemic? I think they're just saying it's wrong. And besides, not all of the trans kids are getting the attention. This is kind of reminding me of, who was it that was making out? I think it was that Arden Hart, that every detransitioner is like Chloe Cole flying around the country with the support of Heritage Foundation. The vast majority of them are not like this. It's the same with trans kids. How many of them don't want to be on fucking camera? How many of them have parents that at least have enough brain cells to understand that they probably shouldn't be putting this on camera because it might come back to haunt them one day? This isn't a point either. Why are they using the same kids? Because those are the ones on the fucking videos. Those are the ones that got filmed. Not all of them do. Not all of them are famous. Not all of them... Why? Just why do you think this way, man?
I know these kids. I've seen their faces from previous other content creators' videos.
So you don't know these kids then? You've just seen them in videos?
That your videos, Edie's been used so much, and the hypocrisy, the absolute hypocrisy of having this video here because it's parents exposing these children's faces, and not once did you blur a kid, you know, it's...
You didn't either, so hey, I don't know. I guess you're fine with exposing people's kids on the internet that you don't know. Cool.
You are a hypocrite. You are exploiting children as well. If you have an issue with children being on a platform...
Nah, that's bullshit. You're not exploiting people. They've already been exploited at that point. How do you wake up in the morning? I don't know how you have that little cognitive function that you're able to go to sleep and then wake up the next morning, quite frankly. I'm amazed. I shouldn't be. I've watched these people's videos before. They suck. I keep saying, I don't need to watch these people anymore because I know what they're about and they're not going to change. There we go.
Then why are you taking them out of their parents' probably 200 follower, maybe 200k? I'm not saying some of them ain't out there doing their bits. Like, some of them do legit have platforms, but
it was posted publicly. Anyone can talk about it at that point.
Majority of people you're finding from the dark corners of the internet.
The problem is with the people that post their kids on the internet, because you've already said you find areas of like this family channel shit a bit weird. Well, that's that same shit. And you're saying it's fine, and it's a problem when someone else reacts to it. That's cooked. They put it on the internet. They put it publicly, like, hello?
And then you're coming with your big ass platform, 1 million, and then putting it for everyone to see. Who's exploiting the kids? Because you're
putting it for everyone to see. It was put out there in public, you fucking fool. What are you talking about?
Getting paid for it. Every single time Blair puts a...
So are you. You fucking ask your fucking audience, mostly of children, to give you £5,000 for like debts that have got nothing to do with any of them. Like, shut the fuck up about anyone money grubbing when you're the same.
a child on the internet, she gets paid. So who's exploiting who? Anyways,
the parents are exploiting their kids, posting them on the internet. And then what happens is people see it and have opinions, and so they express those opinions. The exploitation is from the adults that put those children onto the internet. You want to talk about the people that first did it.
I've had enough. I can't deal with it anymore. I love you. Good night.
You and me both. That was terrible. Useless analysis. This person should stop talking about trans. Just stop talking about this issue. You don't have what it takes. You don't know anything. You don't have the required brain power. And it's a very touchy, difficult issue. So if you're not firing on all cylinders, just stop talking about this. Just stop. There's no need. Anyway, there we go. Leo and Willie. Idiotic. I need to, where are you? Are you still here, Amaya? I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry that overran so much. I don't know. I've been in a weird mood for like several weeks now. I'm getting a lot more angry.